Hello. Welcome to another episode of the Crispy Compact Communiqué, the random 2020 version of the Crispy Noodle podcast here in this unprecedented era. Thank you guys for tuning in to another crazy episode. I am Rich Liebig.
I'm Michael Costanzo.
And we are here to give you some interesting tidbits in the world of sports, entertainment, and odd news. Thank you guys for tuning in. We got some interesting topics to go over. Hopefully, towards the end, they're a little bit more distracting of things happening in the real world. But we'll get to all the news that's fit to talk about in just a minute. But before we get into that, Mike, how you doing? What's happening in Costanzo country?
I'm doing good. Costanzo country's doing good. Should we talk about our backgrounds?
Because
for those of you watching the video, we are continuing the trend of having fun little Zoom backgrounds, and Rich decided to do golf as a theme this week.
Yeah, this weekend, PGA Championship. The
PGA Championship.
It's the first major golf event of the year.
It's one of the only sports that can be played during coronavirus time.
Came through, so I'm very ecstatic.
My background, of course, is completely irreverent to the game of golf. I have a dinosaur attacking a woman on a mini golf course, and she's fighting said dinosaur with a golf club. So that's where I am with the whole golf situation.
Fantastic. Are you trying to say you want to fight dinosaurs instead of watching golf?
Yes, I think so.
No, Mike. No, the dinosaur will eat you. Golf will not.
But it'll be fun at least.
Golf is fun. Yay, golf.
Yay, golf. But no, other than not watching golf, not much is going on. I've been playing Ghost of Tsushima, been watching some TV, but other than that, it's been basically very boring and bland.
See, this is why you need golf in your life. This is
if it gets any more boring, Rich, I'm just gonna shrivel up and die.
This is why you need golf. It's a very exciting weekend for golf fans. PGA Championship this week. I'm just excited to actually see the world's best finally get back out onto the golf course for a major championship. It's going to be fun to watch. I can't wait to watch it this weekend. So in honor of that, I have a classic picture of the legend himself, Jack Nicklaus, the Golden Bear. And that was during
Golden Bear.
Yeah, that's his nickname. Yeah,
that's his nickname.
Yep. And this was his last major appearance 15 years ago, which, by the way, I always have to say is one of the most fantastic exits from a career I've ever seen. This picture, he's standing on the Swilcan Bridge on the 18th hole at the old course at St. Andrews for the British Open. And he's coming back. He's playing his approach shot, so he's walking up the course, and he's getting a 10-minute standing ovation because everyone knows this is his last appearance in a major event. And after he takes this photo, which, by the way, is pretty good considering, he's at the end of his career. It looks pretty good. Yeah. He goes up to the green and he ends his career on a frickin' birdie. Just to be like, I left this game because I wanted to leave the game right now. I still have talent. It wasn't a pathetic,
Shoot a bogey.
Right. It wasn't, he wasn't quitting because he couldn't contend. Right. It was for him the right time to bow out. So I always thought that was one of the best exits in sporting history that I think you could have asked for.
Yeah. Did he end up winning that? I mean, I don't know what else to say. Yeah.
Wow. All right. I've lost Mike. See, to me, that's a moment that I choke up at. And Mike just goes, all right, big deal. Whoop.
I'm sorry. I wish I could relate on the same level, but just look at the backgrounds. You have a legend, and I have a dinosaur. So, it's just two different places on the golf spectrum here.
Yeah, I'm never gonna get you to get on the golf spectrum.
No, it sounded very impressive. Did he end up winning that match?
No, he didn't win that one. But it was just, yeah, it was good to know that he wasn't injured, or he wasn't like his playing level didn't diminish to a point where he didn't recognize him anymore.
Not Tiger Woods now.
Well, Tiger Woods won the Masters last year. What do you want from him?
Oh, that's right. He came back. I can't remember what happens in golf. You know what it is? For the first 6 years of the podcast, we talked about how Tiger was done. And then last year, I guess he won, and then I forgot about it because
I'll tell you what, I will give you credit. Tiger winning the Masters seems like ages ago, and it was only 1 year ago.
Yeah, everything seems like ages ago.
Yeah.
Time is irrelevant anymore. What is it? Time is a flat circle?
Yeah, True Detective?
I've never watched it, so I don't know.
Okay. I think you were trying to quote True Detective, which, if that's the case, you should watch True Detective.
I did watch the third season.
Just the third season?
Yeah. The one with Mahershala Ali.
Okay. Well,
Yeah,
I guess that works out because all the seasons are independent of each other. So
yeah, I heard the first one is really good. I heard nothing about the third one. I heard the second one was real bad. So I know you liked it because it was all very film noir.
Yeah, I'm gonna be a homer on that. I liked the second season. I thought it was pretty interesting. It had a film noir, neo noir kind of style to it. I liked it. I think a lot of people were just disappointed it wasn't the first season all over again. So
yeah.
that tends to happen. All right, we're going way off track.
Yeah.
I was trying to do golf so we could lead into sports because
that's right.
Because we do have a couple of sports topics to get to. And this first story, I am just, again, being a Philadelphia fan, sure.
Just can't catch a break.
Sure. Ben Simmons has only played, I think, 2 games since the NBA bubble was restarted. And, of course, we have an injury update.
Of course.
And it just sent shockwaves throughout the Eastern Conference. And that was the fact that Ben Simmons is out due to an injury. I have to get the injury right here because I've never heard of this before. Quote, a subluxation of the left kneecap.
Yeah. So
Dr. Costanzo, take it away.
from what I understand from reading the headline of the Philadelphia Inquirer and nothing in the article, it is a temporary partial dislocated left kneecap.
Yeah.
I don't know what that means, temporary. Aren't all injuries temporary?
I would hope so.
You assume you're going to get over it, right? I mean, I never hear the headline suffers permanent left knee dislocation of the left kneecap. Like it's never going to go back into place. I just thought it was odd that they decided to add just, temporary in there. You assume it's going to be temporary.
I hope so.
Partially dislocated, like just part of it was moved out of the way. I don't know. I'm sure somebody with actual medical knowledge could inform us better. That is not me.
Oh, I thought you're Dr. Costanzo over there. Come on.
I'm a doctor of other things, apparently.
Yeah.
So Ben Simmons is pretty good, I think.
Yeah. I mean, other than Joel Embiid, yeah, he's the focal point of the offense.
He's the star. I'm looking him up now because this is how much I pay attention to basketball.
All right.
I'm woefully underprepared for this story, Rich.
Okay, let me take it then. This is a big blow. I know a lot of people are going to rationalize and say, oh, the Sixers have depth. This is why we got players like Horford. This is why, they spent a little bit of money trying to get those free agent pickups. But I'm sorry. This is a big hit to the team. Ben Simmons is a focal point of generating points. And I foresee this being just another classic example of just everything should have been going right for the Sixers, especially the first half of the season. The first half of the season, the Sixers were rocking, and then they kind of slowed down a little bit. Then the coronavirus hit. Now the bubble hits, and now we lose Ben Simmons. So you know what? At this rate, can we just cancel the NBA season? Because we all know the Sixers aren't going to make it.
So this is what I'll say on this topic, right? You say that people would argue or rationalize that this is why we have depth. If we have depth, we're so confident, we're so good. Why are we 6th?
Yeah.
Why are we 6th? We're one spot ahead of the Nets, who are 4 games below 400.
This is this isn't this
500 means sorry.
without Ben Simmons, the Sixers aren't going to go deep in the playoffs. I just don't see it happening.
They're barely in the playoffs.
Well, it's the NBA. Everybody with a pulse makes the
bar
playoffs.
is very low.
Yeah, so don't worry about that. They'll make the playoffs, but as far as making an actual run, if they don't have Simmons, it's not happening. Don't get your hopes up. Don't try and rationalize it.
It's just classic wishful thinking.
Yeah, and it's just another notch in the belt for being a classic Philadelphia 76ers fan. It always seems just like when everything is going right for the Sixers, or just when they're getting some good momentum, something comes along and just wipes it all away. And other than the Eagles winning the Super Bowl, this is pretty much Philadelphia sports. I mean, you just get used to it by now. Especially for a team like the Sixers. The Sixers they never seem to be able to put together just a championship roster. It just never seems to work out.
There hasn't been a good Sixers team since 2001.
Yeah, and even then we just ran. Look at that year. We were, out of all the years, we run into the Lakers at their height with Kobe Bryant.
Kobe and Shaq at the height of their careers. Yeah,
it's just just being a 76ers fan is just truly unlucky. It's just and I'm not trying to be cynical either. I mean, there were a lot of reports that came out today that Ben Simmons is so just kind of upset that he really worked hard during the whole coronavirus shutdown, and the team did, and they were really looking at, because remember, Ben Simmons was transitioning from being a guard to a forward, so that was part of the whole process, was he was trying to really get the hang of it, and to see all that work now go right down the drain. I mean, assuming, because this sounds like a bad injury, I'm no doctor either. But what I was reading was, I think the last player that got this injury was Andrew Wiggins, and he remained out for the entire season. This is not one of those. Usually, it's not one of those injuries you just bounce back from.
Now, correct me if I'm wrong, not to be all doom and gloom here, but the basketball season would normally be over by now.
Yeah,
long over, because it ends in June, right?
Usually,
typically. So this is actually, I'm trying not to sound doom and gloom, but this is pretty doom and gloom. If he had sustained this injury in May or June, he would have had more time to recover. Now he's sustaining it in the beginning of August. So now you jeopardize running into the start of next season.
Yep. That's true.
So again, I don't know how serious this injury is, but you said somebody was out for an entire year. There's always the possibility he could rehab quickly and come back better than he was before. Maybe gives him a little bit more time to learn the new position. But I think that's, again, more Philadelphia fan wishful thinking.
Right. And, Ben Simmons, they said he was still able to walk on it. But, folks, that doesn't mean you're able to play on it.
Yeah, so being able to walk on it is not a metric when you're talking about cutting and running and jumping.
Yeah. So,
okay, two completely different things.
Yeah. So, unfortunately, this is doom and gloom. I think for all Philadelphia fans, I think it's time to just accept the Sixers the way they are and just focus your attentions on either the PGA Championship or the Flyers. Flyers are doing pretty good right now. They might do pretty decently.
Rich, I hear everyone say, what about football? Is there no hope for the Eagles this year? Transition.
Good transition. Doug Pederson has coronavirus.
Yay!
Hey! Keep it going.
The good times keep rolling. That's right. Doug Pederson was officially diagnosed with, and it's not a laughing matter, he was officially diagnosed with COVID-19. The Eagles statement reads, quote, "We received confirmation this evening that head coach Doug Pederson tested positive for COVID-19. Pederson is asymptomatic and doing well. He is currently in self-quarantine and in communication with the team's medical staff. The organization is following the protocols established by the NFL and the NFLPA. Any individuals in close contact with Pederson at our facility have been notified and will continue with daily testing procedures and compliance with all protocols before returning to the facility." Anybody in close contact with him, isn't that basically everyone?
Yeah, especially with him being the head coach.
He's the head coach.
Yeah. By the way, you hear who's the interim coach?
Deuce Staley.
I thought that was an odd choice.
No, he's the assistant head coach already, so it makes sense.
He's first off, no, he's the assistant offensive coach for running the ball. So first off, he's not even a full offensive coordinator, and secondly, you have Jim Schwartz, who used to be a head coach. To me, it seems like Jim Schwartz should be the interim head coach, but I don't know. I'm not.
I think the thing is, the reason why I have some thoughts on this. The reason why I think they went Deuce Staley, not Jim Schwartz, is because from what I understand, Deuce Staley is very respected in the organization. He's been with the organization a long time. Specifically, Doug Pederson being an offensive coach, calling the offense himself. They wanted somebody with a deep familiarity and intimacy with the game planning, with running and calling the offense, who's been working there, who's been working close to Doug. So I think it makes sense. And from what I understand, Deuce Staley was considered for offensive coordinator jobs. He's very respected, highly sought after. So this is actually an opportunity for him to prove himself, to show what he's capable of. Remind you, he was instrumental in creating that ground game, that running back by committee that helped us win the Super Bowl in 2017 out of a bunch of rejects and nobodies. Corey Clement, Jay Ajayi coming off knee injuries, LeGarrette Blount, old washed up has been, makes it a Super Bowl caliber running back group. And continuing to develop Miles Sanders now, the young hotshot rookie or second year player now. So it makes sense to me. I like the move.
That's fair. I would just think in a time like this, you would want somebody with more history, more of a pedigree under their belt, and Jim Schwartz at least has actual head coaching experience. But I do get that argument that this team is kind of built around the offense first. Yeah. So, all right, I'll give you the benefit of the doubt on that.
Well, I will give you the flip side though, that in these trying, uncertain times, where we talked about before, rookies coming into the league, without this preseason, without this, a proper training camp, mini camps, it's going to be tough. So maybe you do want somebody with more experience. I mean, I see arguments on both sides. I don't know how the season is going to play out. I don't know if the season will play out, because by this point we'd be talking about football already, and we're still in a holding pattern.
All right. Well, before we get to whether or not there's even going to be a season, I'll just say this for the record. Because there hasn't been OTAs or a preseason, I would expect the teams, I think I said this before like 2 weeks ago, I would expect the teams that have not changed their quarterback or their coaching staff to do better. And any teams that have a new head coach or a new quarterback, they're going to get off to a rocky start because they haven't had a chance to actually have game time.
How do the Eagles fit in with that statement?
I think
with Deuce Staley now. I guess it depends when Doug Pederson comes back.
Yeah, I think for the most part the Eagles should be all right.
I think so too.
But yeah, they've maintained pretty much the most of their core people. They got obviously Wentz, most of the coaching staff. So I mean, they should be fine. But I'm really, in my mind, when I say that statement, I'm thinking of teams like the Redskins, or not Redskins, the Washington football team.
The Washington football team.
Oh my God.
The Wisps.
So stupid. The Giants, like teams that went through a significant overhaul.
Yeah.
This past
first, second year quarterbacks, second year coaches that they're really trying to come into their own, and then all of a sudden, no mini camp, no training camp. Yeah. It's gonna be tough.
Indianapolis Colts, they got Phillip Rivers now.
Yep. What about the Bucs with Tom Brady? Even though Tom Brady is Tom Brady, I saw something that he's having trouble with the new terminology in the Bucs playbook because he's only known one playbook for 20 years. Now all of a sudden it's like question marks everywhere. He's got to relearn everything.
Yeah. So
he's got to relearn 2 decades of work.
Yeah. So there's another example. That may backfire.
It'll be very interesting. The Patriots too.
Yeah.
Even Belichick, they got 2 new quarterbacks back there.
Unless they go with Hoyer.
Who knows?
Well, at this rate, they might end up starting Hoyer.
Patriots are going to win the Super Bowl with Hoyer.
Bill Belichick has had Hoyer on his roster, I think something like 3 out of the last 6 seasons.
And they've won Super Bowls in some of those years.
So, I mean, it does kind of...
Hoyer, Super Bowl MVP, confirmed.
I know he threw 4 interceptions in a postseason game, But if you're talking about a quarterback that Bill Belichick at least has a rapport with,
knows the offense, has a rapport with.
Yeah,
He's a quote unquote veteran.
It may not be Cam Newton. But anyway, that's for further down the road. We'll see if that.
There's lots of questions about whether or not pro football will come back. But what about America's second favorite sport, college football?
Yeah.
There's some worrying reports coming out of NCAA. Rich, you have the full story here, but I understand that the dominoes are starting to fall.
Yes. We got a couple dominoes that all happened actually relatively, recent. Probably all in the last 48 hours. So the first big one is UConn. I know you don't think of them as a football school. They're usually known as a basketball school, but they do have a football program. And they are the first college football program to officially announce they are canceling, not postponing, not trying to jiggle the schedule or anything like that. They have come out and outright said the 2020 season is canceled, period. No ifs, ands, or buts. The first college football team to do so. Sure, they're an independent school, but that is that's a pretty big headline and a pretty big first domino.
It's pretty alarming. I'll say this, just like the college classroom itself, all it takes is the first person to raise their hand, and then everybody starts raising their hand. Now that this first one falls, will we see other schools follow suit? I honestly think, I've always said football is one of the most dangerous sports to try and play during a pandemic. But out of the professionals versus college, I think college is even more dangerous because you have the whole idea of students on a college campus as well.
Yep.
Which, if you've ever been on a college campus, you know how quickly things like the flu or common colds spread like wildfire. Now you have a pandemic and a full contact sport with hundreds of other schools across the country. If I had to choose which one is safer out of these two really dangerous sports to play, probably the professional, because they can, as weird as to say, monitor that easier than, college teams that have to deal with campus life as well.
Yeah, so that was the first big domino that happened this week. UConn officially outright canceling. I do like the fact that they were that bold. Just because I feel like a lot of the suggestions during this coronavirus have always been half-assed,
Yeah.
But this is UConn coming out with a freaking, sword and just cutting the season. That's it, not happening.
They're cutting through the BS.
Yeah. So props to them. I think that was probably a very difficult call to make, but it may end up being the right one. So props to UConn for being the first one to start the chaos, if this indeed is the future. So that was the first headline. And then today, this happened simultaneously, too. So keep in mind, this is two separate student groups that I'm about to go into.
Okay.
So the first group of players, these are college football players organized in the Big Ten Conference. This is one of the major conferences in college football. They've come together and they are asking to address health concerns with their conference's commissioner and the NCAA. So very good on these guys taking responsibility and trying to be proactive. Here's the key difference. They insist that they want to work and are looking forward to playing a college football season. So they're in that middle ground territory.
Right.
So, it's a good sign, but it's not anything raising the alarms, I think. It's not until this story broke, which happened ironically like an hour later. Apparently this was working simultaneously. These two groups are not mishmash. They're two separate groups. A separate players group from another conference, the Pac-12, they're going a little further because they are not just concerned about the coronavirus. They are concerned about the economic impact of these college football games And they are bringing some issues from the George Floyd protests and the Black Lives Matter movements. They claim they want to see economic, health, and social changes to their conference and the NCAA. And if these demands are not made, these group of players say they are willing to opt out of the 2020 season.
Good for them.
Yeah.
No, really good for them. Look, let's not mince words here. Football is an incredibly dangerous sport. There's serious health concerns even before the pandemic about playing the sport of football. These students are putting their health on the line, both in terms of the pandemic and just general well-being, knees, ligaments,
and they don't get paid.
Brain injuries, right? And that was they don't get paid.
Other than maybe they get a scholarship to go to college for free. That's it. They don't get anything else.
Right. Exactly. And then, of course, wanting to see social changes as well. Very important. A lot of time these athletes are used as bargaining chips. They're used as ways for colleges to make money. They're viewed as commodities. They put them in video games. They sell their jerseys. They hype them up. And like you said, they don't get paid. They get injured. They're a product to be sold, And so there's a lot of injustice there in terms of health, economics, and social issues. So I say good on them. I say that the NCAA and those colleges have more than enough money and resources to affect change in at least a few of these areas. So I don't see anything wrong with this. But then again, I don't care about college football. I know there's some people out there, in some states where college football is bigger than professional football.
Yep.
So this is going to bother them a lot more than it's bothering me. I say good for them. I say the students should stand up for all these things. And, I think overall it's a good thing. But I know a lot of people probably disagree.
No, I would agree with that. I think it's really interesting that, especially this group, they're including everything that's happening in the moment right now. I think it's really,
as they should.
I think it's really commendable that they're bringing social issues into this.
Yeah.
Because I think a lot of people would get distracted by the whole economic viewpoint of this, and of course the health impact, which is obviously important. But adding that social element, I thought that was really interesting. I thought that's really cool on these players. I hope that the conference, the Pac-12 and the NCAA take them seriously. The worst case scenario is, I think, maybe NCAA says, screw you guys, we're still going to put together a season whether you like it or not.
And that would be bad.
It would be. But to see these groups of players go out on their own, to organize on their own, and to address the issues on their own, that's really commendable. I thought that was really cool on their part. I hope they get an audience. And they should. They should get an audience.
Absolutely.
Because this isn't. Yeah, it's like you said. This isn't the professional level where some of the athletes can go back home and cry in their piles of money. These students don't get paid. This is it.
Right.
Like this is their entire.
They have to go back to their dorm rooms where disease without a pandemic spreads like wildfire. Crammed into classrooms. Again, sickness. One person gets sick, pretty soon the whole class is sick. We've both been there on college campuses. We know how it works. They're putting their health on the line in more than one way, and they're calling these schools to task because colleges and universities, and generally viewed as bastions of progressive thought and forward thinking. And so they're challenging these huge institutions to make a difference and actually practice what they preach. Stand up for injustice, use some of that money to affect positive change both within and without the school community. And I hope that their demands are listened to and taken seriously, and they're not just steamrolled, and they just promote freshmen or younger players and be like, we're kicking out all these guys that are forming this coalition. And we're just going to ignore them. That would be terrible.
Yeah. And maybe if this is something that works or something that gains traction, maybe we'll see this in other conferences. Again, that's kind of one of the weird quirks about college football is it's so expansive. There are all these different conferences.
It's too much.
Yeah. So, this may need a little bit more legs to get going. You may need some, other student groups to in other conferences to organize as well.
The Pac-12 is pretty big though, right?
Yeah, Big Ten is pretty big, and Pac-12 is mid-major. So yeah, these it's good to see these students take initiative, go out on their own, and yeah, this may lead to some more student unions, for lack of a better word, throughout each conference, and that would be, I think, totally fine. And this is something they should do because
absolutely,
these colleges at the end of your career, that they're not gonna need you. Just when you go off to the NFL or you don't make it to the NFL, all right, that's it. You're on your own. Bye.
No, they still need you when they hit you up with the alumni office for donations.
Oh, that too. Forgot about that.
Because they don't make enough money.
Yeah, we can always use another donation. Okay, so there you go. College football. Maybe they could be the next sport that bites the dust. We'll see. All right, enough sports talk for now. It is now time to get to entertainment news. Mike, what's the entertainment news that you want to talk about this week?
It's never anything important.
Yeah, it's the coronavirus. It's 2020.
Well, everything ground to a halt. There's no movies. There's no games. There's no TV.
Yeah.
Pick up a book, folks. But there was this headline that I found interesting because this is something that we have sort of been following. We've been following this game of leapfrog between Disney's live-action Mulan and Christopher Nolan's Tenet, constantly backtracking to see which one will premiere first in theaters to test out the murky waters of movie theater attendance during a pandemic. Christopher Nolan decided to release Tenet in China in September, which is a curious choice.
In China.
China, yeah. Disney, though, is making an equally curious choice by scrapping theater plans for Mulan altogether and deciding to premiere it instead on Disney Plus, which is not unheard of. We've seen this new trend during the pandemic already. What makes this different is that Mulan was supposed to be one of their tentpole blockbusters, which, if you know anything about the movie industry, you know that the tentpole films are what make all the money for all the small projects. And so that being said, Disney wants to make as much money on Mulan as possible. So instead of releasing it on Disney Plus, just releasing it for subscribers, they're releasing on Disney Plus, but also charging $30 for people to gain access to the movie. And what makes this interesting and unique is that unlike other releases or digital releases, like say a movie comes to iTunes, you buy the movie on iTunes and you have the movie. You don't need to subscribe to iTunes. Well, with Disney Plus, you're already paying $7 a month. And then they're asking for an additional fee for just this movie on top of it. And this is what's drawing a little bit of controversy. Rich, what do you think about this new interesting middle ground where it's you both have to subscribe to the streaming service and purchase the movie digitally? It used to be one or the other. Now it seems Disney's trying to get the best of both worlds.
Well, I always knew that Disney was the Antichrist. So,
come on.
This is a horrible idea. This is absolutely atrocious. I know I'm not the biggest fan of Disney to begin with. But wow, this is just greedy on another level. Folks, you do not need to spend $30 to go see this movie. All right? You just don't. I don't care how good this movie is. This movie could be Godfather Part 1 or Godfather Part 2. It's not worth $30 for a one-time fee to watch the movie. That is absolutely absurd that Disney is using they're using the coronavirus as like their feel sorry for us. We were gonna try and get this movie out, and so please just pay us this money that we would have gotten if we had released it in theaters. And no, this is a shameful attempt at getting more money. It absolutely is, and I'm pretty sure. I know I don't have kids, so I know people are gonna be, rolling their eyes when I say this statement. But if I had kids and they said they wanted to see Mulan, I would say no. Let's watch another movie. It's not worth $30. Plus it's really $37. So really, you got to bump it up with tax to $40. Get the hell out of here.
Bump it up with tax.
Get the hell out of here.
On streaming services.
Isn't there?
I don't know, actually.
I think there is. I think depending on your state.
Do you get taxed on streaming services?
I know. All right. I know you do on Amazon. Amazon, you do. If you
digital purchases.
Yeah. Oh. So I don't know. Maybe not Netflix and Disney Plus. I don't know. But whatever. I'm gonna just assume it because this is atrocious. It's still $37.
It's still $37.
Buy a couple candy bars. You're up to $40. All right. This is atrocious. This is absolutely just a pure money making scheme by Disney, and I can't believe that people, and the worst part is people are going to buy this. That's the worst part. No matter how much you try and get logic through people's heads that they are being scammed, ripped off, no, people are still going to buy this stupid additional thing. It just pisses me off. They're going to do it too. They're going to do it.
I was going to agree with you until you came out guns blazing against Disney. Now I feel like I kind of had to defend one of my favorite production studios. No, I kid. I do agree with you on some points. I do want to bring a little bit of clarity though. So the $30 gets you it's not a one-time fee. You get to keep the movie.
Yeah, but doesn't it go on Disney Plus anyway?
Yeah. So that's the thing that's weird is because you get the movie as a digital purchase, but you only get to access it as long as you're a subscriber. So what I take issue with is Disney should allow you to take it with you after your subscription lapses if you choose not to resubscribe, if you're paying the $30 fee. Make it like an actual digital purchase. Don't make it subscription plus digital. You know what I mean? Make it just a digital purchase. I think that would sit better with people if you buy it for $30 and you get to keep it regardless of subscription status.
They're just gonna try and get you any way that they can.
I mean, so it is very clearly, they're trying to recoup the money from this film, and I can't fault them too much for that because it's a big budget film. It's a big budget film. They have to. You wouldn't fault Christopher Nolan for this.
For $30 and they're. First off, Christopher Nolan doesn't have his own streaming service. All right, if he did, I would be subscribed to it because I love Christopher Nolan. So I mean, if it's not even the same playing field. But even if he did, I not for $30. That's too much.
What if Christopher Nolan had said that he's debuting Tenet exclusively on Netflix, and you have to pay $30 to see Tenet?
I don't know. I don't think.
See, because I want to suss out here how much of it is Disney and how much of it is the actual concept behind it.
Yeah, I don't like.
This is going to be the future of film distribution until they can get the pandemic thing sorted out.
If it is, it's a giant ripoff.
But is it though? Because when you go to see a movie in theaters, it's $12 per ticket on average across the country. So this is like 3 tickets to go see it. And hypothetically, you can watch it as many times as you want with as many people as you want. So you could argue, or Disney could argue, cash savings there.
No.
Now, I agree. I agree. The double dipping is bothersome. That they're dipping in for the subscription and they're dipping in for the $30 fee. I think that there's a more equitable way to do that. They could do the subscription and maybe a cheaper movie price, or just sell it digitally, right? And let people take it off the service, or let people keep it after the subscription lapses. I think either of those things is fine. I think that they're double dipping right now is the problem that people have.
Yeah, you shouldn't be getting charged on both ends of it. If this was just a straight digital download, I could swallow it a little bit better. I'll say that. That makes more sense to me than trying to do this double dip, which is exactly what it is.
Yeah. Well, in fairness to Disney, I want to present both sides of the argument. In fairness to Disney, the pandemic hit them real hard. And I'm not trying to be corporate apologist. Hold on. Because a lot of the revenue comes from, hold on, Rich. No, look, listen. A lot of the revenue comes from theme parks, right? Which they haven't been able to operate. There's a huge operating cost, lots of employees. Disney employs a lot of people, whether you want to admit it or not, across all of their properties. We're talking film, TV, physical attractions, stores, all the different networks that they own. Now they own ABC and Fox. So, with both production and theme parks being ground to a halt, they did take a big hit. That being said, it's still Disney, and they can still print money by re-releasing Avengers anytime that they want to. So while I understand the need to recoup the cost of the movie and the need to appease stakeholders and try to soften the blow of the coronavirus, I also see a company that isn't afraid to shell out billions of dollars for Hulu, right?
Yeah.
And then also, all of a sudden be like, oh, woe is me. You're right. You're right in that regard. They did get hit hard, but clearly they have enough to survive.
They should have enough to survive.
They have more than enough to survive.
Yeah. No, I don't feel one bit of sadness for Disney. They're fine.
I feel bad for them in the regard that I enjoy what they put out, but I don't feel bad enough to say it's okay for them to double dip.
Yeah. No.
If it were just a digital purchase, that would be one thing.
Yeah.
If it was just on the subscription service, that would be one thing. The fact that they're trying to very craftily strike this middle ground, because as we mentioned with college football, once one person entity raises their hand, the rest tend to follow. So I want to see if other production studios take this tact, where all of a sudden you see a Christopher Nolan be like, okay, well, the theater release in China didn't work out. Now you can buy it on Netflix for $30.
That's what I'm saying is there are going to be so many people that are blindly loyal to Disney that they're going to do this anyway. They're not.
But you never answered my question. Are you blindly loyal to Christopher Nolan? Would you buy his film for $30 on Netflix? Or the next Star Wars film? Or the next Joe Pesci, Robert De Niro flick? This is soul-searching time. Is it Disney?
It is.
Or is it the concept?
It's the concept. The concept bothers me. So, I mean, I don't think maybe Star Wars, but
Maybe
even
which
then,
is a Disney property now.
But even then, I would still feel cheated. I would still feel like whatever franchise, if this was Christopher Nolan, I would still feel like, oh, Nolan sold out. I would feel pretty bad. And unfortunately, this is what the freaking problem is with some of these Disney cult people, is they're going to blindly just do this, and then it's going to be deemed a moderate success, and then you're right, and then that'll be the floodgates, and then Netflix will start doing it, then Hulu will start doing some BS version of it. It's not right. You should not be able to do a double dip on the streaming service. This should be a straight digital download, period.
Yeah, I think we're in agreement that the double dip is the problem.
Yeah.
Not the concept of releasing on video on demand, because we've seen that so far in the pandemic. Trolls is apparently very successful. Not that it was expected to be gangbusters, do well at the box office, but it was successful for what it was. But this is a unique case, specifically in the fact that you have to subscribe and also purchase it.
Yeah.
So I wonder if we'll see them walk back that decision in the coming weeks. Maybe they'll lessen the price or make it available for free on Disney Plus sooner than they anticipated. But you're right. While I do see the benefit to families, they're like, well, we have kids. We were going to go see it in theaters. That would have been $50, $60. $30 is a savings for them. I can understand that argument. The downside, though, is you're right. It does open the floodgates a little bit. I think it's inevitable. It doesn't make it right, but I think it's inevitable. That now they've proven that the video on demand delivery works, just like in video games, digital downloads work. The floodgates are open in video games. Now the floodgates are open in movies as well.
Yeah, but you don't have a streaming. You don't have a like a streaming subscription to
Don't
open
you?
the door.
Don't you already though? Kind of. I mean, how long until PlayStation Plus and Xbox Live are required with the consoles? Period.
Well, they aren't right now, right?
They aren't. They aren't right now. But
So, I mean, you can't make that argument yet.
You can't make it yet.
It may be coming down the pike, but you can't say it's the same thing yet.
Google tried it with Stadia. We all forgot about Stadia. They wanted people to subscribe to a premium service and buy games a la carte. And I think Xbox is going to go that way. They're going to try and do Xbox Live as a service and then sell games a la carte. That's exactly what Disney's trying to do. They're trying to do a service and sell movies a la carte. That's the gold mine right there.
Well, I don't like it. Damn Disney pushing their weird agenda.
Hey, look, don't blame Disney for being smart business people.
No, I blame Disney for being just a soulless corporation, and I can't believe
you do not besmirch the good name of the House of Mouse.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, yes, I do.
All right, so there you go. That's our entertainment topic for this week. But we do sports, entertainment, and the third thing is some odd news coming your way. We always got to have some wacky odd news. So this is our odd news nugget for the week. This is an interesting story coming out of Iowa. We've had a couple of Iowa stories recently.
Yeah, it's out there it's sort of in the middle of the country, just hanging out doing its thing.
Yep.
In the middle of nowhere. I don't know. I don't trust states out in the middle of nowhere.
Well, I think that's a good call because you get people like this guy, Mark Gray.
Oh, he looks very angry.
Yeah, he doesn't look happy to be on the golf course.
No, he doesn't. He looks like I would look on the golf course.
This is actually Mike.
That's actually a picture of me on the golf course. Like, why am I here? Why are you making me do this? Who is this? Legendary golfer. I'd rather be fighting dinosaurs.
Yeah. He's not very happy.
No.
Well, there's a reason why he's not very happy.
Okay.
He apparently had one of the worst heists I think we've ever had here on the Odd News.
We've had quite a few bad heists.
That's
so
right.
This has to be really bad.
Yep. In what may be the least lucrative heist ever, Mark Gray, a convicted felon, decided to break into random businesses. They included, let's see, it included a, oh wait, where was it? I had it and then I lost it. This is the problem of reading the story on the cell phone. You lose the place.
Yeah.
Oh well. Anyway, the point is he broke into a couple of these businesses. Oh, here it is. Finally, I found it.
You should print it out before the show, man.
I know. It's 2020. Nothing makes sense
2020.
anymore. All right. So he broke into, he broke into a restaurant, a counseling agency, and then
counseling agency.
Yep. And then the coup de grace, a Iowa bank.
Okay. Man,
so he's just
going for it all.
Yeah. Investigators alleged that around midnight he was smashing the glass doors of these places. So I don't think he's realizing that the last one is a bank, because that seems like a very serious crime. Like, you know, compared.
How could you not know it's a bank?
Seriously, you go from just restaurant, then the counseling agency, that's not that bad, and then bank. That seems like a big step up. What?
I don't believe that he doesn't know it's a bank. Most banks have the word bank on them somewhere.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe it was dark. Maybe he didn't see the words. I don't know.
So you think he's just going down the street, just smashing window one after another after another?
Yeah, because are you ready for what his goal was?
Sure.
He wasn't trying to steal money. His goal was a loot of hand sanitizer.
I mean, you know, this is a uniquely pandemic-themed odd news story, and I love it. It's perfect.
Yep. So you get what I'm saying at? I think he's like, oh my God, I need hand sanitizer. This is going to be like the bounty of a lifetime. Okay, let me.
Why not CVS?
Yeah, like
why not Walgreens? Why not a supermarket?
Well, he must have. This bright idea just came to him at midnight, and he just goes for the first 3 glass doors that he saw.
He just walks out his door. What are the first 3 businesses? Restaurant, counseling, services, bank.
Yeah, and then the last one's the bank.
So I'll say this. I think what he did is he tried to outsmart himself. He's like, okay, everybody's going to be breaking into CVS. All the robbers are going to be breaking into the pharmacies and the drugstores and the grocery stores. I can't bring into those places. Too obvious.
Yeah.
No, I got to hit up the restaurants because they still have to clean their hands.
That's right.
Nobody's robbing restaurants because nobody's eating in them.
That's right.
Thinking, what else? Not doctors' offices. Too obvious. No, it's a big no-no. Everybody's going to be robbing the doctors. You know who they're not going to be robbing? The counselors. Because they deal with clients. They still got to clean their hands. The bank, that was just sheer stupidity. I don't know. I can't come up with an excuse for that one.
So he had those. So in your mind, he had those 2 locations down pat.
And then he just got. It was just bloodlust.
Yeah.
It was just blind rage. He was just smashing at that point.
He had the perfect corner of stores that he knew he was going to hit. I know just the location. And he goes from 1, bang, 2, bang. Oh, a 3rd door. Let's go for it. Bang. Oh, bang. Shit, it's a bank.
It's a bank. Whoops. So is that what finally tripped him up? I'm assuming the bank had more security than a restaurant and the counseling. Actually, this is going to sound bad. Counseling service is probably the best one to hit because I can't imagine they would have a lot of security.
No,
it was just throwing that out there.
Yeah, no, it was the bank because they got him on camera there at the bank and the alarms tripped.
Yep.
Cameras,
that'll happen.
Yeah, the cameras show that he entered into the bank lobby area and stole the hand sanitizers from each station.
So he was on the right thinking. His final target was not the best one.
The bank should not have been included on your list of targets for stealing also, hand sanitizers.
If you're going to rob a bank, do it for more than hand sanitizer. He knows there's money there, right?
Oh, wait. Money. What? This is one of those places that keeps money.
Oh, my God. Yeah. So you can buy hand sanitizer with the money. I'm not advocating robbing banks, but if you're going to, do it right. That's all I'm saying. I'm just asking you to do it right.
Yeah.
I like this story. This is a good one.
Yeah. Post-arrest, he told police officers that he entered the businesses and he thought of things of value that he could steal, and the things that he thought of were hand sanitizers.
This guy's just dumb.
Yeah.
So he didn't go there for hand sanitizer. He went there for something valuable. And in his stupid Neanderthal mind, he's like, well, a lot of people have been talking about hand sanitizer. I don't hear anybody talking about money anymore. Money must not be valuable. It's the hand sanitizer and the toilet paper that's valuable. This guy's an idiot.
Hand sanitizer is the new currency.
He probably watched the news and they're all talking about hand sanitizer. Because recently there was an article that lots of hand sanitizer is not good for you. So he's like, man, everybody's talking about it. Now's my chance to snatch it up. But again, you can use the money that you steal from the bank as a proper bank heist to buy hand sanitizer.
No, you might as well just cut out the middleman. I don't need these paper bills nonsense.
See, this is why I don't like the middle of the country. Because they get people like this doing dumb stuff. Iowa, out in the middle of nowhere. They got geniuses like this that think hand sanitizer is currency.
Yep.
I look foolish in the New World Order when we have to pay for everything in hand sanitizer.
Yeah, that's a new currency.
Yeah.
Cops were able to track him down and arrest him. He was locked up on a trio of felony charges. His bond was set at only $6,000.
For robbing a bank?
Right?
Actually, robbing a bank and 2 other businesses. That's not bad. Make it sound like you're buying a service. That's not bad.
I think they probably felt sorry for him. They're probably like, he didn't actually steal money. He wasn't actually planning a bank heist.
They're like, oh, look at the poor little idiot. Oh, we'll let him off easy.
Yeah, let's just do a $6,000 bond. He's not going anywhere. Where's he gonna go? He doesn't have enough hand sanitizer.
Yeah. He doesn't have enough hand sanitizer to buy his way across the country. Yeah.
Yeah. Where's he gonna go?
Oh my God.
Yep. So there you go. That's your odd news story of the week. trying to get the hand sanitizer.
There you go. Man, these odd news stories. I like that one because it was uniquely pandemic themed.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah, that was good.
Yep. All right, but before we officially wrap up the show, we like to do a little bit where we recommend some things to watch in the upcoming week. We call it Apocalypse Activities. Mike, what do you recommend to the people?
Nothing.
Okay.
I didn't think this far ahead.
Fantastic. All right. Well, while you think of something,
I'll think of something. You say something.
PGA Championship this weekend. I'm so excited. This is where you see the world's. Anytime it's a major championship, this is where you see the world's best. They go at it. They're trying to win the big bucks. They're trying to go home and add the major title win to their career stats, their resume. It really is the true way to measure who will go down as the best golfers of our time. Obviously, Jack Nicklaus, the golfer to win the most majors in his career. That's why we respect Jack Nicklaus. So these are the times where even if you're just even remotely interested in golf, these are the ones that you need to watch because this is where the best of the best play. And I'm so excited that at least we got 3 out of the 4 majors that are scheduled to happen for 2020, and one of them's happening this weekend. Watch the PGA Championship, especially Sunday. You got to watch the final round is always the most exciting because that's where you see players take risk if they're falling behind or if they're trying to do a last desperate attempt. It's a Hail Mary. Mike, you should watch Sunday. Sunday's a lot of fun.
Well, look, I already said that I have nothing for Apocalypse Activities because I'm all out of things to do. So I might actually have to end up watching golf at some point, once I exhaust all my other options. Yeah, because I've officially run out of, I guess I could start watching Succession or something.
Yes, watch Succession. Good show.
Yeah.
Solid show.
I've also been thinking about getting into Watchmen. I have to find the movie to watch Watchmen first.
Watch the movie first so that you got your ground for the universe that it's set in. The Watchmen series was fantastic.
Yeah. So I guess that's my Apocalypse Activity is, we just talked about all those Emmy nominees last week. What else are you going to do? Like me, what you can do is you can catch up on some of these Emmy nominated shows, so that way when the Emmys actually happen and you have something to talk about. You can actually make an informed analysis on the shows and be like, this is why Succession did this, and this is why Watchmen won that. I always try to do it with the Oscar movies to varying degrees of success. And for the most part, I'm pretty good with the comedies nominated this year, but I am unprepared for the dramas. I've watched Better Call Saul, so I guess it's time to watch Succession. And I think, was Watchmen nominated? For drama, or that was limited series, I guess.
Limited series, yeah.
Yeah. So
do it.
There you go. Catch up on the Emmy nominated shows.
Do it, Mikey. Come on, get in the. I think you'd like Succession.
I think so too. It seems up my alley. It's just carving out the block because I want to be able to watch like a couple episodes back to back to back.
Succession is, I think, the most well written show probably since Mad Men.
Really?
The dialogue is fantastic.
Not Better Call Saul?
Better Call Saul has good moments. And I do love that show, and I love Bob Odenkirk. I would say Succession though, just from start to finish.
Okay.
You want to know what every character is doing because they all have their own unique and immoral motives. So you're literally just watching from start to finish what everybody's doing and trying to figure out.
Sounds like a classic HBO drama.
Yeah, it's very good. You'll definitely like it, Mike.
So that's what I'll do this weekend then.
All right, so there you go. Apocalypse activities for the upcoming week. But with that done, folks, we're coming up to the hour mark, so it is time to start wrapping this episode up of the Crispy Compact Communiqué. Thank you guys for tuning in to another interesting episode. If you like what you heard, make sure you go to thecrispynoodle.com. Make sure that you're following us on all the social media, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, the whole shebang. All the good social media apps out there so that you know any sort of news headlines that we share or the next video or whatever we decide to do. It's 2020 and everything doesn't matter.
That's right. But what does matter is you can also find us on YouTube where you can find these videos. And Rich told me about this cool feature where he can put bookmarks in the video. So if you want to watch just sports or just entertainment or just odd news, you can just click the link, go right to that section. That way you get to see our pretty ugly mugs on the video, jump straight to the section you want to watch. It's a really cool feature that YouTube has. So go check out the videos of the podcast on YouTube. But if you want to just get the audio, we're still offering these as audio podcasts. Make sure you subscribe to the Crispy Noodle podcast on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, and Google Podcasts. You get the latest episodes downloaded for free every week. So make sure you search for, download, and subscribe to the Crispy Noodle podcast on the podcast service of your choice.
Yeah, so if you're doing any sort of driving activity, you can put us on in the background.
Can't watch YouTube while you're driving.
No, but you can listen to us.
That's right, exactly. We also have a SoundCloud page, right, Rich?
Yeah, SoundCloud. That's where we got the Mini Noodle promos. Check that out to listen to just a couple of quick bits, some of the MVP moments of the show.
That's right. If you want to follow us individually on Twitter to share your sports, entertainment, and odd news stories with us, or just give us topics to talk about, you can find us there. I'm at Mikey Costanzo, MikeyCostanzo.
And I'm at Rich Liebig, RichLiebig. You can find us on the Twitters. Let us know what's happening. And give us your opinion on some of the things we talked about, or give us new topics to discuss on next week's episode. Actually, speaking of social media, I want to give a shout out to Richard Frick on Twitter. He sent us a really nice message. I was really happy.
Yeah, that's right.
He sent us a really nice message about, hope that we're staying safe during the coronavirus, because he said the podcast world will still need us after it's over. So shout out to Richard Frick. You're a good guy. We are staying safe. We're doing the Crispy Compact Communiqué via the powers.
5 months going strong.
Yeah, via the powers of the internet. So we are social distancing and staying safe. So that was really cool. We are staying safe. Hope you are staying safe as well, Richard Frick, and all of our listeners. Hope you guys stay safe as well.
Absolutely.
But for right now, it's time to wrap this up. This has been the Crispy Compact Communiqué, the 2020 coronavirus version of the Crispy Noodle podcast. Still, let us be the Crispy Noodle in your vegetarian salad of life and boring news. Anything else, Mike?
That's it. Thanks for listening, everybody. Stay safe and enjoy your day.
That's right. So we'll see you guys next week.
See you guys
later. Bye-bye.